march out of class and walk to TUSD headquarters. They're demanding the return of their ethnic studies classes. The first.
TUSD students walk out of class in protest and march on the district headquarters. And for the first time, the architect of the Mexican American Studies program admits they are doing as they were taught. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Guy Ashley.
And I'm Jennifer Waddell. Frustration over the district's shutting down of the program turned into action this morning.
More than 100 Cholla high school students staged a walkout today protesting the school board's move. Earlier this week, the TUSD board voted to end the program in a move that should help the district avoid about $15 million in fines. Students say they're confused about why the courses were dropped because the program has been described as successful.
It's about us having a culture, us having a history. They're trying to take that away from us.
Program supporters argue Mexican American Studies teaches valuable history and culture, but one component has been the main focus of the controversy: social justice. As Valerie Cavazos explains, even the program's architect admits it may be a bit too much for high school students. Valerie has tonight's 9 on Your Side Education Watch.
The past year of protests, from students chaining themselves to seats at a board meeting to today's walkout in March to TUSD's headquarters, stems from lessons taught in social justice classes. We spoke with Marcos Ramirez after today's demonstration. Now, you learned social justice, right?
Yeah.
Is this part, the protesting part of the social justice education that you're getting?
Yeah, it is.
And what is it exactly do they tell you to do?
They told us to, well, I know to get my word out. That's the First Amendment, to get my word out. We have freedom of speech. We have the right to come out and protest.
And that is the original intent of the program, developed by University of Arizona Associate Professor Julio Camarota, the architect behind the Social Justice Education Project at TUSD. Julio is on sabbatical, but spoke to us by phone.
This is a great way for them to understand that, what our country is about, by them mobilizing and by them protesting, in the streets. It fits into the lessons that exist.
Lessons actually based on those taught in college, which he admits may need to be altered to be more effective.
We may need to change our approach, maybe change our language a little bit so it doesn't make people think that somehow we are trying to make students become un-American or antagonistic towards America. We're not doing that at all.
He recently met with Superintendent Dr. John Petticone, who stands by teaching social justice to students, but agrees with changing the direction and approach to be more appropriate for high school students.
You run the risk of kids misinterpreting, just like you do in any course. So it's the responsibility of teachers to teach material appropriately and the responsibility of the organization to decide what appropriate is.
Julio suggests that the district may avoid future demonstrations if they reach out to the students.
This is the conversation that needs to happen, and if not, by not having that conversation, young people are going to try to step up and express themselves and express their voices and have their voices try to be heard.
Valerie Cavazos, KGUN 9 on your side.
District administrators say that they are committed to having conversations with students to find out their perspective on ethnic studies.
A legislative redo